Well, buongiorno and welcome to Assisi. I'm excited to be able to share with you some things about the life of Francis and that in my journey. Today's gospel kind of fits perfectly. As we heard in Jesus today, that he went back to his hometown, a prophet, and prophets are not welcome in their hometown. I remember the first time I came back to Bakersfield. This is the place I grew up in, and I thought, these people know too much about me. They will never accept my preaching or what I do. And this is the problem that Jesus had. Because they knew Jesus, it's in the Bible, it's the carpenter's son, son of Mary. They knew who he was. It closed off him being able to do any miracles in their life. And I think that's what happens to us, because sometimes we're not looking for Jesus in the right places. It says a prophet is not without honor except in his native place among his own family. Because people reacted like this, they didn't get to experience his miracles. I look at Francis and Claire's life here in Assisi. They were so open to want to know who Jesus was that they saw so many miracles. They weren't looking for the miracles. They were looking for Jesus, and because they were looking for Jesus, they saw all the miracles. They saw miracles in God's creation, in the animals, in the sun, in the moon. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what are we looking for? What kind of Jesus are we looking for? Because the people, when Jesus went back to his town, they were looking for somebody famous, a star. They weren't looking for God. When we search for God, when we search and we open our hearts and we are open, then we see the face of God, as Francis and Claire did in everyone, even in a leper. I think today people live such fast lives that it's hard for them to look for Jesus. They think, I can look for Jesus on Sunday when I go to church. It's not enough. We have to see him in our workplace. We have to see him in our troubles. We have to see him in every aspect of it. I say to myself every time I come to Assisi, and I've been coming every year, and I'm very grateful to that, is that I shouldn't have to go to Assisi to find the peace and love of Christ. It's there. It's right in the pews. It's in the person sitting next to you. It's in the music. It's in your presence here. And so what happens is we've got to stop looking. How many people get in the morning and they look up their horoscope because they want to see what kind of day they have? And yet God has a tremendous day planned. But we don't open God's word. We want some lady somewhere locked up that writing these little things about this, and then we make our day around it. Our days are filled with God's grace, and all we have to do is take the time. God can speak to you through your spouse, your children, the sick, the homeless. But we have to be open. We have to be searching for God. And that's the great message of the gospel today. That's the great message of Francis and Claire. When we are open to God speaking to us, then miracles happen all around us. The other day I was just walking in the streets here in Assisi, and I don't know what happened. All of a sudden I felt the here and now. I wasn't thinking about what I had to do, and I wasn't thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. I just felt so present. And I was just in the middle of a street. I wasn't anywhere. I wasn't in a chapel praying in front of the Blessed Sacrament. I was just there, and I felt God so present because I slowed down and I allowed to just be in the moment. When I came here 19 years ago, July 1st. And I've learned so much from you. I've grown a lot. And I want to thank you for being there for me and teaching me and helping me learn and being patient when I fail. And yes, there have been many failures. I think about that, how many times I have failed, and yet you have loved me. We have to do the same to each other. We all fail each other. And that's a great gift for us. When I get away from you, and I miss you already, I'm able to think more about it. And I do, and I think, gosh, how many times have I been impatient with you? Or I've gotten so busy with work that I don't take the time to pray. Or the times when I'm like overwhelmed because I'm not spending the time putting Christ first. And then I look and I'll see somebody. I'll walk by the Adoration Chapel and there are 4 or 5 of you in there praying. And I'm going, that's what I need to do. And then I go in there. I see some of you on Monday night over there feeding the poor and doing that. I'm going, wait, that's what I need to do. Why am I so worried about all this busy work? So you have been tremendous examples to me of the gospel. Your families speak to me. I love when I walk out of church and your kids are running around. And I love seeing families gathering. I like to see the young people in church. So to me, you've been that voice of God. You've been the one speaking to me. It's great to know that even though sometimes we don't listen to God, He is always reaching us. I think of this. Do you see His miracles? Look at what you have endured in your life. Look what you've been through. Look what's brought you to here today. What miracles have you seen? Have you seen any healings, blessings? What trials did you go through that God carried you through when you didn't even think you could do it? Did you realize one day that you'd be married or have children? That you'd survive cancer? Did you ever think that you might even just have faith and be going to church and loving it? Have you ever prayed for somebody that maybe suffered from an addiction or was sick and they had a healing? Think of all the things that God has done in your life. Because today we gather and we say it's the ordinary Sunday. This is an extraordinary Sunday. Every Sunday is extraordinary. It's a time for us to come and give thanks to God. It doesn't matter whether you're here in Assisi, and I feel very blessed to be here, or whether you're at St. Francis of Assisi in Bakersfield. That same God, that same Christ, has a miracle for you. And all we have to do is to be open to it. Look for the miracle today. Today, Jesus, He can do anything you need. Lay it before Him at your altar as you come here. Miracles do happen. Think about this. You've all survived me for 19 years. Miracles happen. And so from Assisi, I wish you pax et bonum.